Hi everyone, Trevor here. So, you're probably looking at the question that was previously on the screen there. How many countries are there in the world? With that, I can split it down to 3 different ways you can look at it. 1, from an organization you may have heard of. 2, from our government's own perspective. And 3, your own opinion. However, since this is my video, you'll be hearing my opinion. If you want your own opinion, put in the comment section below, or make your own video about it. Or, just let me know in some way. First off, the United Nations, as the flag of it is shown on the screen right now. You may have heard of it, you may have seen it before. The most recent country to join the United Nations, as I will put the flag on screen right now, South Sudan in 2011. That was the most recent country to join the United Nations, which brings us to our first number, 193. There's actually 2 other countries that do, show up at the United Nations, but they're like observer states, meaning there's all states in all name except that they can't actually vote because they're not full-time members. As the flags of those countries will be shown on screen now, the Vatican and Palestine. So that brings our official count to 193 plus 2 observers. Second, we jump over to the U.S. Department of State. According to the U.S. State Department, there are 195 countries. That includes all 193 members of the UN, the Vatican, and Kosovo, as the flag will be shown right now. Kosovo declared independence from a country known as Serbia, as the flag map will be shown on screen, in 2008, because it used to be part of the country known as Yugoslavia. You may have heard of it. So that brings our total from 193 plus 2 observers to 195. And last but not least, number 3. My own opinion. I personally think there are 196 countries. So that's all 95 of the US Department of State plus 1 more. Taiwan. You may have heard of it. Its actual official name is the Republic of China. Although a lot of people get it confused with the People's Republic of China, or the most commonly known, China. Grand total now brings us to 196. So the reason why I'm completely doing this entire video is because there's a possible 3 new countries coming up in 2020. The first possible country to pop up is an island known as Bougainville, which is part of the country of Papua New Guinea, which is a country to the north of Australia. As of right now, that referendum is scheduled for somewhere in between the time frames of November 23rd and December 7th of this year. So we actually might get a new one this year within the next couple weeks, which is pretty cool. The second independence referendum that will happen within the next year or so will happen in the state of Chuuk, spelled Chuuk, in the country known as the Federated States of Micronesia, which is an island cluster country in the Pacific. This one is scheduled for sometime in March of 2020. The final one is the island of New Caledonia. You may have heard of it. They are actually voting on independence from the country of course, you all know it, you all have heard of it, and I'm pretty sure a good chunk of you can recognize the language if you hear it. France. In fact, last year, in 2018, they had another independence referendum, and it didn't really go out so well. So the results back in 2018 were 43.33% in favor and 56.67% against. And that was back on November 4th of last year. And yeah, as you saw right there, it didn't succeed. The one for next year, 2020, is scheduled for September 6th of 2020. And so now, a very big question must also be answered. Should we have more countries in the world? The answer? Sure, why not? It's always nice to have new countries in the world. Alright, this video is already getting long enough and I need to end this. What new countries do you think will end up becoming a country? And how many countries do you recognize in the world? Please let me know in the comment section below of this video, whether on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever I decide to post this. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.